transfer the sum of $1,000 from account certification salary, excuse me, to account salary.
Is there a second?
Second.
Hey.
Oh, sorry. Running away with your slip.
Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 4, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $2,389.75 from the treasurer training salary to the account salary or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $2,389.75 from treasurer training salary to accountant salary.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 5, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $5,000 from the Assistant Fire Chief salary, 001.220.5132.000 to the Air Tank, 001.220.588.000. I know it's a decimal point, but I work in telecommunications, and we call it a dot. Is there anything to be said?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $5,000 from Assistant Fire Chief salary to, from Assistant Fire Chief salary 001.220.5132.000 to Air Tank 001.220.5800.000.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? Sue, you got anything to say?
No, just go ahead and vote yes on it, everybody.
All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Article 6, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of money from the available funds to fire, air pack, lease, or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move the town vote to transfer the sum of $20,000 from lease stabilization account to fire department air tank expense account.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? Sue?
Please vote for this.
Okay, this requires a 2/3 vote because of the amount of money, so we're going to vote it backwards. All those that are not in favor of this article, please raise your hand. All those that are in favor of this article, please raise your hand. Very good. Thank you. Article 7, to see if the town will vote to transfer a sum of money from the fire department personnel stabilization account to the lease payment stabilization account or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer a sum of $4,032.61 from Fire Department Personnel Stabilization Account to Fire Department Air Tank Lease Account.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there anything to be said on this article or motion? Anything at all? This also requires 2/3 vote because it's removing from a stabilization account to something else. So, all those that are not in favor of this article, please raise your hand. All those that are in favor of this article, please raise your hand. Thank you very much. It passes. Article 8, to see if the town will vote to transfer a sum of $925 from the fire vehicle repairs account 001.220.5262 to the fire department salary account 001.22.5110.000 or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer a sum of $925 from fire vehicle repairs account to fire salary account.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? Let's see. And this is not a two-thirds, so all those in favor, please signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Article 9, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $5,999 from the Police Department Personnel Stabilization Account to the Police Other Supplies and Expense Account 001.210.570.000 to pay for speed signs or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $5,999 from Police Department Personnel Stabilization Account to Police Other Supplies and Expense Account to pay for the speed signs.
Is there a second? Is there anything to be said on this motion? Anything at all? I have a question. Is the chief here? Or a representative of the police department?
Sergeant Denise.
Sergeant Donace, could you fill me in on what signs or what kind of signs you're buying here?
Actually, I wasn't really sure on this. Is this working?
Oh,
Testing, okay, sorry. I am not sure exactly which, I know we are looking to have lit signs further in town. I'm assuming that's what that was.
Yeah.
Right,
okay, that's what I was curious, if that's what they were, whether they were going to be that or just tin signs.
because the ones on
or
North
getting
Main Street
some-
are making a pretty good difference right now. as
Okay,
well.
great, that's good. All right, thank you. That's,
Thank you.
doesn't happen very often, folks, but I do get curious from time to time.
When you see them, Jim? Do you slow down when you see them?
Yeah, that's the next thing I got to do. All those, or is there anything to be said on this article? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Wait a second, stand by. It's got to be two-thirds because it's out of stabilization. Let's vote it backwards. All those that are not in favor of this article, please raise your hand. All those that are, please raise your hand. There we go. Thank you very much. Article 10, to see if the town will vote to transfer $5,000 from the police salary account 001-210-5110-000 to the police department part-time salary account 001-210-5120-000. Is there anything to be said?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer $5,000 from the police salary account to the police part-time salary account.
Is there, second?
Second.
Do your first responders need to go? No? Okay. Is there anything to be said on this motion? Anything at all? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 11, to see if the town will vote to transfer $1,000 from the police salary account 001-210-5110-000 to the police career incentive salary account 001-210-5116-000. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer $1,100 from the police salary account to the police career incentive salary account.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 12, to see if the town will vote, see if the town will transfer $2,500 from the police shift differential salary account 001-210-5118-000 to the police gasoline expense account 001-210-5441-000. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer $2,500 from the police shift differential salary account to the police gasoline expense account.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there anything to be said on this motion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Article 13, to see if the town will transfer $1,000 from the vehicle and police supplies expense account, and I'm going to skip the number, to the vehicle repairs expense account, or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer $1,000 from the vehicle and police supplies expense account to vehicle repairs expense account.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 14, to see if the town will transfer $433.88 from the training expense account to the police office's expense account, or take any action. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer $433.88 from the training expense account to the police office's expense account.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 15, to see if the town will transfer $116 from the vehicle and police supplies expense account to the police office's expense account. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer $116 from the vehicle and police supplies expense account to police officers' expense account.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there anything to be said? Anything at all? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Let's see, that was 15, okay. Okay. Article 16, to see if the town will transfer $22.08 from the police shift differential account to the assistant animal control salary account. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer $22.08 from the police shift differential salary account to the assistant animal control salary account.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 17, to see if the town will transfer $600 from the police training salary account to the police uniform expense account, or take any action. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer $600 from the police training salary account to the police uniform expense account.
Is there a second? Second. Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 18, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $23,800 from the highway salary account to the tree warden's expense account, or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $23,800 from highway salary account to tree warden expense account.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 19, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $1,129.47 from the water retained earnings to the water unpaid bills expense, or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $1,129.47 from water retained earnings to water unpaid bills expense.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 20, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $30,000 from the water retained earnings to the water system improvement or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $30,000 from water retained earnings to water system improvement.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Y'all are going to really be pumped by the end of the night. Article 21, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $14,000 from the sewer department clerk to the sewer department or sewer solid waste disposal, and further to transfer the sum of $15,000 from the sewer operator 2 to the sewer solid waste disposal or taking action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $14,000 from sewer department clerk to sewer solid waste disposal, and further move to transfer the sum of $15,000 from sewer operator 2 to sewer solid waste disposal.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 22, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $1,000 from the sewer operator 2 to sewer salary other to cover the police detail work or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $1,000 from sewer operator 2 to sewer salary other to cover police detail work.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 23, to see if the town will vote to rescind a portion of the amount appropriated under Article 1 of February 17th, 2017 special town meeting or take any action relative thereto. Note, this is the remaining unissued amount for the elementary school roof. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to rescind $2,194,508 appropriated under Article 1 of the February 17th, 2017 special town meeting.
Is there a second? Second. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? No curiosity?
What is it exactly?
Leftover funds from the roof project, right?
Did they get a grant or something?
No, it's leftover monies from that were appropriated for the roof, the new roof.
Yeah, but they just didn't need it.
No, so they're going to return to the funds.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
So Maria Biter Tucker, 8 Brooks Pond Road. So just to clarify, it's $2 million that, of the town's amount that was used to, so that the grant was about, what, 65% of the roof, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Correct. Right? So the 2 million that is being returned to the town is part of the town's portion that was used to pay for the roof, is that correct?
Well, Ann's shaking her head no.
What it is the amount that we never borrowed. We did not permanently borrow that. So in essence, it's what we got from the school building authority. Okay. So when we go to town meeting, we approve the whole project. Mhm. So we get the money coming in from the school building authority and we only borrow the town's portion. So it's authorized and it's on our balance sheet, but we never borrowed it. Okay, so it would have been, if we would have gotten it from the Yes.
from the building, whatever.
But there's no money there.
Right, no, I got it.
It's a bookkeeping stroke, right? Okay, yep. I don't know how much you heard of that. It was money that was appropriated but never used and being returned to or doing the bookkeeping on it to show that we never borrowed it. So, any other discussion? Yes, sir. Can you step up to the mic and identify yourself, please?
Bob Malone, 42 Donovan Road. So does that money go back to free cash?
No, there's no money there. It was a figure that they had
So it's
used.
paper,
It's all on paper. It's
so it was there, but now it's gone.
no. Ann, can you explain, please? Stand by. We'll have the town treasurer.
I think if I'm wrong, I'm sure Ann will correct me. My understanding is, okay, that the town was borrowed a certain amount of money. Not borrowed, but was granted, right?
They
Yeah,
appropriated,
let's
you
Okay, so the
appropriated the
town-
money, you authorized that money.
Right.
You didn't use it, so now it's going back to the town under
We
free
never
cash.
borrowed it, so all it is on our town, on our report that we give to the Department of Revenue, it says we still could borrow that for the school roof. And we
To
don't-
use it for that, so you didn't use it for that.
We didn't use it, we
Okay.
didn't borrow it, we just want to get it off of the reporting. Because we don't need to borrow it, the project's done.
But the money is there, so why don't you use it for something else?
The money is not there, we never borrowed it.
Oh, but it's still in your pocket,
Well,
still used.
so it's
No.
like it was authorized up to that that extra 2 million, but we didn't need it because it cost less. So we,
I get that part, I just didn't
So the-
understand,
right.
what you're doing with the money.
There's no money. It was never borrowed. It was, a sum was given. They gave us that figure to borrow. We never borrowed it because it didn't cost that much to start with. So we only borrowed what we needed. Anything else be said? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That was 20. Okay. Article 24, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $2,300 from the Board of Selectmen Technology account to the Board of Selectmen Purchase of Services to pay the appraisal services or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $2,300 from Board of Selectmen Technology account to Board of Selectmen Purchase of Service to pay for appraisal services.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
what are we appraising? Just curious.
The question was, what are we appraising?
The appraisal is in connection with Article 22 on the warrant, the Donovan Road property.
Oh, okay. Article 22 on the regular warrant?
No, it's on this one, isn't it?
Oh, the annual, okay, all right.
32, sorry, 32.
Oh, Article
32 on this one,
32.
32.
Oh, okay. Is there anything else to be said? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 25, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $6,000 from the Board of Selectmen Technology account to the Board of Selectmen Town Office expense to pay a portion of the town office rent or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $6,000 from Board of Selectmen Technology account to the Board of Selectmen Town Office expense to pay a portion of the town office rent.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 26, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $2,059.86 from the Board of Selectmen Street Lighting account to the Board of Selectmen Town Office expense to pay a portion of the town office rent or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $2,059.86 from Board of Selectmen street lighting account to Board of Selectmen town office expense to pay a portion of the town office's rent.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there anything to be said? Anything at all? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 27, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $138.50 from the Board of Selectmen Town Offices expense to fiscal year 20 prior year unpaid bills, or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $138.50 from Board of Selectmen Town Office expense to fiscal year 20 prior year unpaid bills.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 28, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $200 from the ZBA Zoning Board of Appeals clerk salary account to the ZBA advertising account, or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $200 from the ZBA clerk salary account to the ZBA advertising account.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 29, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen for and on behalf of the town and upon such terms and conditions as the board deems to be in the best interest of the town, to convey the Massachusetts Electric Company and/or National Grid and such other entity, or utilities rather, if any, as may be necessary or advised, to support or service a cell tower, a perpetual easement to install, construct, reconstruct, repair, replace, add to, maintain, and operate for the transmission of electric current and intelligence in underground and above-ground systems and all necessary equipment, facilities, and appurtenances, that's a tough one, in, under, on, and through land located at the Water Department, also known as 14 Bell Road, and B, to authorize such board to take any action necessary for the purpose of effectuating and the foregoing vote, or taking action relative thereto. Boy, that's a mouthful. You wrote that, didn't you, Dale?
Thanks, Dale.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen for and on behalf of the town and upon such terms and conditions as the board deems to be in the best interest of the town to convey the Massachusetts Electrical Company and/or National Grid and the such other utilities, if any, as may be necessary or advisable to support or service a cell tower, a perpetual easement to install, construct, reconstruct, repair, replace, add to, maintains, and operate for the transmission of electric current and intelligence, an underground and above-ground system, and all necessary equipment, facilities, and appurtenances in, under, on, and through land located at the Water Department, also known as 14 Bell Road, and further move that the town vote to authorize such board to take any and all action necessary for the purpose of effectuating the foregoing vote.
Is there a second? You're pretty good at that. Was there a second? I didn't. Okay. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? Nobody's curious about that one?
Yeah, actually, what does it mean?
So there's a tower up there at the Water Department now, and there was never an easement granted for the utility to get to the tower, to do any work on it, repair it, upgrade it. And the Water Department is in need of an upgrade to their IT. I guess they're working on it for DSL now, so This just gives the utility an easement to go across the property with an underground or an overhead line to get to the tower that's currently there. There's no new construction that's going to take place there. It's just pertains to what's there now.
Okay, makes sense to me. Anything else to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 30, to see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of money from the fire department personnel stabilization account to the lease payment stabilization account or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Fell asleep. Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer the sum of $8,000 from fire department personnel stabilization account to lease payment stabilization account.
Is there a second?
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify, stand by, I caught myself. This has got to be a 2/3. All those not in favor of this article and motion, please raise your hand. All those in favor of this motion, please raise your hand. Great, thank you. Motion carries. Article 31, to see if the town will vote to, stand by. I'd like to call the annual town meeting to order. Now we'll recess. Article 31, to see if the town will vote to authorize the town moderator to appoint a 3-person regional school district planning committee according to Mass General Law, Chapter 71, Section 14, consisting of 1 member of the school committee and 2 other citizens to explore joining an existing regional school system or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to authorize the town moderator to appoint a 3-person regional school district planning committee according to Mass General Law, Chapter 71, Section 14, consisting of 1 member of the school committee and 2 other citizens to explore joining an existing regional school system.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I just want to give a quick explanation. Maria Biter-Tucker, I'm the chair of the school committee. In the summer of 2019, the school committee did direct Mr. Lynn to apply for a regionalization grant through the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. So there was a regional study grant received. We hired a consultant, and there was a group of townspeople, including Mr. Petritis, on this regionalization study committee. The report was written. It was completed in December of 2020. It did take a little longer than planned because of the pandemic. And as of last week, the regionalization study committee recommended looking at regionalization with the Quabog district. Just to point out that appointing a 3-person regionalization committee does not mean that this is going to happen immediately. It means that the 3-person committee will be working with Quabog, or actually the 2 towns in the Quabog district, West Brookfield and Warren, to look at what regionalization would look like. And it is actually a multi-year process. So it's just an explanation of what that was. I will say, as school committee chair, I do think that it is worthwhile for the town to look at what regionalization would actually look like, both financially and also in terms of, education for our students. But again, it is, a multi-year process, and this is not something that's going to happen immediately.
Is there anything else to be said?
Ward Street. How does one go about expressing their interest in serving on this committee?
Well, I think after this vote, we'll know better, and we'll probably make an announcement after we decide whether or not we will go through with this. Now, this motion is to have the moderator do that. If this fails tonight, then it's moot. If it does, then I'll be making an announcement through the selectmen as to how to get your information to me, that, to try and appoint the right people. The The reason the moderator is chosen for this is because ideally the moderator is the one impartial person in town. So it's up to me to try and select people that I know will review the facts, will make their judgments based on what information they're provided and that sort of thing. So again, after this vote, if it's affirmative, then we'll formalize how we'll get the information to you and how I'll be reviewing that information to make the decision. Overall, like I said, the big thing here is to have people that are impartial, that don't have an axe in either fire, to bring it, to back into the town so the town can make an honest vote on it too. So, is there anything else to be said? Okay, here goes. All those in favor, please signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Again, I'll be announcing through the selectmen how we'll get the information to me, and Mr. Lynn and I have already discussed if there's any state criteria required, and we're working on that too. So again, this is all a learning curve for me. Never been through this part, so. Okay, Article 32, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to acquire by purchase of eminent domain the fee and/or other property interests in a certain parcel of property containing 3.71 acres, more or less, located at 63 through 65 Donovan Road, further identified as parcels 38, 56, and 63, and 38, 56, and 65 of the Assessor's Map number 38, for general municipal purposes, under such terms and conditions deemed to be in the best interest of the town by the Board of Selectmen, and authorize the Board of Selectmen to execute all documents and take actions actions that may be necessary to officiate the purposes of this article, and further to authorize the treasurer, with the approval of the Board of Selectmen, to borrow the sum pursuant to General Law, Chapter 44, Section 7 or 8, or any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds and notes of the town, therefore, and further to any premium received by the town upon the sale of any bonds or notes approved by this vote, less any such premium applied to the payment of the cost of issuance of such bonds or notes may be applied to the payment of cost approved hereunder in accordance with General Law, Chapter 44, Section 20, thereby reducing by a like amount the amount authorized to be borrowed to pay such cost, provided, however, that this vote shall be expressly contingent upon the approval by the voters at an election to exclude from the limitations imposed by Proposition 2.5, General Law, Chapter 59, Section 21C, the amounts required to pay for any such bonds or notes, and further to authorize the Board of Selectmen to accept any and all grants for purposes of set forth in this vote, and to enter into any agreements and execute all documents, including contracts, for the term in excess of 3 years necessary to officiate the purposes of this vote. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to acquire by purchase or eminent domain the fee and/or other property interests in a certain parcel of property containing 3.71 acres, more or less, located at 63 to 65 Donovan Road, further identified as parcels 38-56-63 and 38-56-65, Assessor's Map 38, for general municipal purposes under such terms and conditions deemed to be in the best interest of the town by the Board of Selectmen, and to authorize the Board of Selectmen to execute all documents and take all actions that may be necessary to effectuate the purposes of this article, and further to authorize the treasurer, with the approval of the Board of Selectmen, to borrow a sum of $1,510,000 pursuant to General Law, Chapter 44, Section 7 or 8, or any other enabling authority, and to issue bonds or notes of the town therefore. And further, that any premium received by the town upon the sale of any bonds or notes approved by this vote, less any such premium applied to the payment of the costs of issuance of such bonds or notes may be applied to the payment of costs approved hereunder in accordance with General Law, Chapter 44, Section 20, thereby reducing by a like amount the amount authorized to be borrowed to pay such costs, provided, however, that this vote shall be expressly contingent upon approval by the voters at an election to exclude from the limitations imposed by Proposition 2.5, General Law, Chapter 59, Section 21C, the amounts required to pay for any such bonds or notes, and further, to authorize the Board of Selectmen to accept any and all grants for the purposes set forth in this vote, and to enter into any agreements and execute all documents, including contracts, for a term in excess of 3 years necessary to effectuate the purposes of this vote.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? Oh, wow. Can the selectman give an explanation here, and that might save a little time?
Yeah, can we have an explanation of what $1.5 million piece of property is?
So we need a new fire station. I don't think there's any doubts about that. And the Fire Station Building Committee has been planning a new station that would have been located right near the police station. The estimates are coming in real high. I know Joey's got it down to, I think it was 8 or so million. 11 now? 11 million with the new construction costs. So an opportunity arose for us to acquire Huck's Garage. So the plan is to acquire Huck's, move the highway department down there, so they're out of the center of town with all the equipment, near their salt shed, and they have a lift down there for the mechanic. It'll work out great for them. Then we move the fire department into the highway building and let them rehab that for their equipment. One of the trucks is already being stored in there. And then we'll eventually, over time, rehab the existing fire structure to be a fire department headquarters type museum thing that they have. So that's the plan. We need a borrowing authorization. That's the appraisal we did. Also with this comes the storage facility, so it comes with its own revenue that will come back to the town and help pay for itself over time, so it's a really good opportunity, and it'll save us $6-8 million, so that's the plan.
Okay. Is there anything else to be said? Can you come up to the mic?
How does that savings work exactly? Like, how is that savings being brought back into the town from the storage? And what is the, like, timeframe for that?
What is or how is the revenue from the storage facility brought back to the town, and what's the time frame for that?
Well, as soon as we acquire it and have the deed in our town's name, whatever revenue is generated from the storage facility comes into the town as revenue. Like if you pay your dog licensing fees and stuff like that, comes into the town and then gets certified in free cash. Am I right on that? You got the accountant and the treasurer here. That's
She's shaking her head yes, so.
Yep. Yeah, so it'll come into the town throughout the year, and then in free cash time, it'll get certified in free cash, and then it becomes enough money for the town to appropriate at that point. So we'll appropriate whatever we have in revenues at that time.
Maria?
I just want to understand a little bit. So most people are aware that the school budget was cut by $1 million. They have, the select board has added 500,000 back to that, so now it's only cut by $500,000. And I just, can you explain to me how, in what I've been told is that the town revenues right now are so bad, and that's why, the budgets are being cut. Is this the appropriate time to borrow money? I mean, and believe me, I am in full support of the fire department and the highway department getting facilities that are appropriate for their use. If you could just explain that.
So it's two different revenue streams. Borrowing money goes on to the tax base. So the amount of money that we're seeking to borrow will cost 77 cents per thousand of your home assessment. So a $270,000 home.
28 cents.
I mean, oh, sorry, 28 cents. So, so 28 cents per thousand, so a $275,000 home is $77 a year. So that gets put on the tax base. That's not revenue. So the revenue is what's in the town. So this is a Prop 2.5 debt exclusion from the revenue. So it's two different streams of revenue.
Thank you.
Okay. Joey, can you get to a mic?
Thank you. Joe Hawley, 4 Hillsville Road, Fire Chief. Been with the department, I'll be short.
You were reading my mind, weren't you?
I'll be short. Been with the department close to 40 years. The station was built in 1800, but just to give you a little better understanding, for the last 2 administrations prior to me, and I was chief in those administrations, assistant, we've been trying to get the highway for years, so we thought we could renovate that building and clean up the old fire station and make it headquarters. But we've never had the opportunity. So as we got into this, the last 3 years with the committee, we have mandates that are coming down from DOT, which is all part of OSHA was accepted into DOT. So we have no exhaust systems in our station. We have, cancer's a big item with fire service. We have our share of it in our own department, a lot of sick people. Not that they got cancer from it, but it doesn't help us any. We've got a lot of mandates that are coming down the pike for us alone, and we can't even incorporate them in the old fire station. It was built for horses in the 1800s, and it was 1912, it was time to get another station. We have a ladder truck parked in the highway, we have to run across that in the wintertime. You guys know the deal, so I don't need to explain that, but the beauty of this, when this opportunity came up, is the committee had, my original thought when I started the committee is I wanted to build McCarthy's bus garage that you see on Route 9 with a 2-story building on it. And we were figuring around $5 million. Well, then once we got the committee together and found out all the mandates and the things that come down the pike, what they call soft costs with actually building a facility that has to meet tornado and all these type of things, the cost went up to $14 million. And we managed to beat it up and get it down to $8 million. But with COVID and the price of materials right now, the architect told me it's up to 11.5 again. And that, that's just outrageous, and I have a hard time swallowing it myself, but then we had this opportunity come by with Hux. And God forbid, if you've ever been in the highway department, those guys work hard over there, and they sit in a room with the same toilet in the same room to have their lunch. And luckily, they've moved out of that, but they did for years because it's all they had. I mean, it's pretty bad in the sense that for their facility, what they do and the equipment they have. And now that the town's kind of revitalizing, I think it's revitalizing. You get the parks down West Brookfield Road, things going on in town, things are looking really nice, a lot of people coming in the area. This would be a good chance to clean up that, I promise you, as long as I'm still alive, if this goes through, I'll clean that up over there nicely. Nice lawns out in the back. We'll make headquarters. You'll have nice entryway coming into the station. We'll put the trucks in the other equipment and get everything done. But this is kind of like a threefer for the town. You're going to get, the highway will move into a facility that's designed for that heavy equipment repairs. Plus it adds 4 acres of land to what the town already owns with the sewer if it ever expands. The training center's down there. So that's a big, huge addition for the community for very short money. At 1.5, I hate to say it, that's short money to get that down there. And we would then be coming back to you at some point in time for some renovation monies. And it's probably going to be close to $3 million at some point to clean up those 2 buildings, get our headquarters done. We've done a lot of work in getting figures together to do it. And so let's just say in the end of this whole thing, you're looking at $4 to $5 million. Let's say if that's the case by the time we're done. It's not even close to the 11.5 that I will have to come and ask for it because I'm obligated to do it under the mandates, and I'm obligated to do it for our men. It's been going so long. So this is a chance for the town to really get something really nice in a short amount of money. And I reached out to Senator Goby, and she called me back, and come to find out that even though and that's the other thing, we've have all these other projects that had started, you know, the sewer came in, they're getting a lot of funding back in grants. But Ann told me there was grants funding available through agricultural also. And I called and had a conference meeting with the Amherst headquarters. And they said, under the renovation of what's going on with this purchase, us renovating the highway and the old fire station, utilizing the 2 buildings we already own, getting that all cleaned up and taking the squad with us, we can qualify up to 45%. So even if we did a total of $3 or $5 million when this is all said and done, it looks pretty good that we could get it. I can't promise you that, but we fall into the category, and they told me after this meeting tonight, if this gets passed, then the next step, of course, is a debt exclusion would definitely have to pass to make it all done deal for Huck's purchase. But at that point in time, they'll help me with the application process to start on the 45% reimbursement of everything. So, and then I'm sure that the town fathers will be bringing us back up here to talk about renovation money to get the station done. So this is kind of like a huge opportunity. And if I'm correct, Dan, if you're on the average around $6 million, like $250 on a tax base on the average, well, we're not even looking for that. And if we get the 45% grant, I mean, we could be looking at real short money to take care of 3 major things in town and really beautify that whole area in front of the highway and the fire station. We got some nice plans for a nice entryway into the station with the old barn door closing up the front, with lobby, offices, everything. I mean, it really is a nice deal. And that, the station is true to my heart. It's been with my father and everybody for years. And it's a nice building that way. We can turn it into a nice headquarters. We can clean up the inside of that other building. There's no major structural stuff that has to be done. It's almost all cosmetic. Repave the driveways, get the flagpoles in. We got a nice bell monument to put out in front. We can really make it nice. And this is just a chance of a lifetime that I think if you pass it up, I think you're going to regret it. Because we're going to be forced to do something at some point. We've all been there. And the fire department stood back for a lot of projects in this community. You know that. And we're doing around 700 runs a year. So if you do the math on that, it's pretty hectic considering we're a call department with only a couple people on EMS. So, I think the guys deserve it. It's a great opportunity. It was a great that they invested their time into getting, negotiating and talking to Hucks. And Franny's been a friend of mine. I grew up with him in Little Canada. And he's excited about the sale. He's getting point to retire possibly. So he's all in favor of it. And he wants to help the town out in the same token by the sale. So it's just a chance of a lifetime, really, for very short money to take care of the highway department, add property to your community, to the community down there we already own for the future. And I told the guys, too, on the station, they're all supporting of it because when we got the committee going to try to bring the price down, we cut down the training room. We took out the gear locker room. We did so many things to cut the price down that this allows us to open that all back up, all on property that we already own. And 60 or 70 years from now, if the buildings don't hold up, you can crush the old highway building and build a fire station right on that same property. Plus, it doesn't put me on the asbestos property, which, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not thrilled about building on it because you never know what you're going to dig up. So we have that in plans with the architects, but if we hit something funky like a lot of brick or something like that, and we got to keep digging, we could be back asking for more than $11.5 million. So this is just a sweet deal all the way around. I don't know what to tell you. I love all you guys, but we've stood back for new high school, sewer upgrades, water department upgrades. The list goes on and on and on, and we've always supported all these things, and we certainly understand.
Thank you, Joe.
We certainly understand the school. But with that said, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. You'll never find a better fire chief than this guy, I'll tell you.
Thank you, Chief.
Meg Cloutier, 15 Hillsville. So I just wanted to be clear. So the 1.5 million is not just for the acreage. The intention and plan is to renovate the building. So last I knew, we were planning on putting in a new fire station. It sounds like we were looking to renovate buildings. And so if that's the case, I'm just curious if the committee has done any work to make sure that those buildings are in a good position where they are able to be renovated. So have we done any work to make sure that the buildings that we have can be renovated to become up to standard?
Yes, the building inspector has spent hours in there.
Okay.
The buildings, along with actual contractors, so we can have an idea where we were at with everything, yes.
Okay, and we were gonna build a new fire station, but now your plan with this plan is to renovate.
For 11.5, whenever this
Yep.
gets set up, it will be back just for renovation monies.
Yep. Thank you, thank you.
Anything else to be said? Anything at all? All right, this is going,
Say something, but it's getting late.
this is going to be a ballot vote. The way we're going to do it is we're going to come down this aisle, get your ballot. The vote that you want to cast will go in the brown box. The discard or the vote you don't want will go in the bag on the floor, and you'll go back to your seat this way. Will the tellers please come forward to get your ballots? Let's get the tellers situated, and you guys can start out. Let's try and keep a social distance. I guess it doesn't really matter at this point. Everybody's bunched up, but. One for customer. Get on your side over there and just pass them out as they come through.
I'm going to vote.
Watch that quarter.
You will.
Watch out, you got a munchie coming up on you. Oh, no, no, please not that.
So it's a majority, simple majority.
2/3.
2/3. That's right. I knew that.
Anything borrowing, anything over,
I can't open this. I've got scissors. If you can't open the scissors.
I feel so defeated.
I thought it was just me.
Now, if you look in the bylaws,
That comes from the bottom.
most of the stuff we operate under comes from the bylaws.
Okay.
The procedural things and how to run a meeting come
It's
from town meeting.
Robert's rule of order.
No,
Oh,
town meeting time is.
this. Okay.
It's 7:30. Can't eat it. Can't eat chocolate. I'm really not supposed to have anything sugar because I'm borderline diabetic.
Oh my God, I feel so bad. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I can't eat chocolate.
You can't eat chocolate. It's just dog soup.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a timer with a bell. Yeah, yeah.
I'm not bribing anyone.
Karen. Holy crap, haven't seen you in forever.
Hi, Bob, how are you?
Think about what appears to be here.
I was just his name is Bobby. I'm just a member.
Faces I've never seen.
Me too. There's my little Johnny.
Mr. Gillette, where you been, buddy? Haven't seen you. You missed Clarence's big send-off.
Hi, Johnny.
Yeah, they dedicated the room to him, and the meeting room.
Honey, I
Well,
don't
they
get
gave
this
him
figure
a
by
gardener chair with
eating
big
salad.
path engraved in it. They dedicated the room to him. It was Clarence Byshon official meeting room. He's been there since '68. Yeah. Huh? He's doing well. Doing better. Yeah. I don't know if he's back to work yet or not. But, yeah, I guess he was pretty sick for a while.
I know, I'm on the thing.
We had our first in-person meeting last Monday. Yeah. Yeah, what they did, they just opened up the meeting room, because that's the nurse's training room too, so they just opened it up and now we got plenty of room. So. All right. Yep. Yeah. Oh, Montville got elected to Clarence's seat. Montville. Mr. Montville? Yeah, Don Montville is now in Clarence's chair. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so. All right, be good. Hi, Sue. Good, how are you? I'm sorry? Yeah. Always getting in trouble together, I bet. Is he out of ballots? Didn't think there were that many people here. What's your husband's first name? I can never remember. Brian, that's it. Brian, if you got enough ballots. Brian, you got enough ballots? Never mind. Now you got a big vote.
Yeah, they're all paying attention to you.
I know they are, but I still do it. I'm gonna put a rubber chicken in there while you.
I emptied it out. What I got here, hay fell out of it. I can do that.
Just put it aside.
One pile.
Yep. Usually the easiest way is get them all separated and then go through and count.
I have no idea. Don't want anyone to see. How many ballots
Cast
cast?
and you have to. You can do the math on here.
Notice I have to do calculator.
I see that. Well, I do that too, just because my math sucks sometimes, especially when I'm in a
My
hurry.
math sucks all the time.
I don't do the higher level math.
I don't do any. We have simple calculations in the office and it's adding machine. So far, 2 no's.
Don't mention numbers on the outside edge that they're counting. I don't know if they're counting yet. I don't. Well, that's, yeah, just get them separated out and then we'll get them counted out. Got one right in front of you there. There you go. It's a discard. That's a maybe. We have a maybe. Yeah. I didn't expect this many people. I was. Jason said there'd be this many.
Wait till next one.
First round, so we have to cut out, and it worked, it ain't happening.
They already did. They came in like $50,000 less than their budget last year.
Yeah, it's gonna be more
Their
this year.
assessment.
It's gonna be more this year.
FY '22 is at $50,000.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
That's right. North Brookfield was. There's so many towns that won't be up. 66. We're going to have 2 more. Hopefully, there'll be a bunch of people leave.
Wait a minute.
All right, what does 2/3 represent? Yes, divided by 3 times 2. 14, yes, so 41.
Wait.
171 cast. Oh, we got that one outside ballot. Did you put that in there?
I didn't. I think you guys put it in here, but
Oh, we put it in there, but I mean, did you count
I
this
didn't count it.
as a yes or a no, or maybe you just threw it out? I guess it doesn't count because it was not a vote. All right. So 114, yes. So 114 is what needed to pass. We had 166. Everybody find your seat, please. Out of 171 ballots cast, it needs to have 2/3 to pass, which would be 114 votes. The final tally was 166 yes, 5 no. The ballot, or the motion carries. Hey, Joe? Yeah. If we come to vote, will you not talk so long next time? Okay, Article 33, to see if the town will vote to amend the Town of North Brookfield zoning bylaws. Oh, I hate Roman numerals. Section 4, E6B, drive-through operations by moving this prohibited use to Section 4E5, Roman numeral 4, E, 5E, in order to be permitted use by special permit from the Planning Board, subsection 5E. Would be a new subsection existing in 4E6C. Adult entertainment would become 4E6B. Bylaw would read as follows, 5ED. Is there a motion? No, I can't repeat it.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town take no action on this article.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to take no action on this article. All those in favor, or excuse me, is there any discussion? This is a zoning Mr. King, where are you? Oh, geez, if you would please tell us what this is. Everybody's incognito with their masks on. I can't tell who anybody is.
This article was not sponsored by the planning board. It was sponsored by a petition through the Board of Selectmen. And because it has not been advertised within 6 months of a public hearing, which took place last September, this article has to be re-advertised before it can be coming for a vote.
Okay, there you have it. Is there anything else to be said? It's a zoning bylaw that would have permitted the use of drive-through services in downtown for coffee, whatever. But does that explain it?
I heard adult entertainment in that.
That was in there too, but it's, yeah, it's, we're better served to move on. There's been a call to the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I'd entertain a motion to, say again? No, motion to dissolve? Okay, is there a second? It's been moved and second, who seconded it? Oh, okay. Moved and seconded to dissolve this meeting. All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Does anybody need a break, or can we jump right into the annual? All right. All right, I got a couple little housekeeping things to do before we start in on the annual. First off, welcome to the 209th annual town meeting for the town of North Brookfield. So it gives you an idea how long this process has been happening, and we've been getting it right every year. So, secondly, I'd like to congratulate any of the candidates that succeeded and offer to the candidates that didn't. Please don't be discouraged. Please stay in the town government. We need you. We value your opinions and your efforts. Don't go away. We need you. And I'd like to kind of call attention to a milestone here. You know, when you get into town government, I started in 1994. You start out small, you get in one committee, then the next, and before long, you know, all your time's taken by your committees. One individual here with us tonight started doing this around 1989, I believe. Is that right, John? John Alphen, who stepped down this year from the Board of Health, has been in office since 1989. For those of you that don't know John, John has brought us quite a few benefits in his tenure as the chairman and member of the Board of Health. Those that utilize the award-winning transfer station we have every Saturday or Wednesday, that was John's brainstorm. John oversaw the capping of our dump when the state came down on us kind of hard, saying we were operating a illegal dump because it had no bottom in it. It had no lining, so we needed to cap it. That's John. John and the committee and the Board of Health. Bob LaFlamme, he was on at that time. My point to the whole thing here is that it takes us to run this town. And the volunteerism and the interest that everybody has is what makes us want to live here. And I'd like to thank personally John for his 30 years of service. And I wish him well in retirement. I can see a lot of music in his future and things of that nature. So again, John, thank you very much for all your efforts. And please, if you aren't volunteering, please do. There's a lot that can be done, and your input is important. And with that, I'll get off my soapbox. Okay, so we're going to start at Article 4? 2? Okay, right. Article 2, to hear and act upon reports of the selectmen and town officials and boards or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to hear and act upon the reports of the selectmen and the town officials and boards.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to print the reports of the selectmen and the town officials and boards for the year 2021 or take any action relative thereto.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to print the reports of the selectmen and town officials and boards for the year 2021.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? I have a question. Where are the town reports?
They'll be here for the adjourned.
Okay, all right, that'll be in June. So, is there anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 4, to see if the town will vote to fix the salaries of all the elected appointed officials of the town and determine what sums of money will be raised, appropriated, borrowed, or transferred in the treasury to defray the charges and expenses of the town for a 12-month period beginning July 1st, 2021, including a reserve fund under the control of the Finance Committee or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to postpone action on this article to June 4, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to take no action on this article. Is there anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 5, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer a sum of money to operate the water department for a 12-month period beginning July 1st, 2020, under the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53F and 1/2, or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to postpone action on this article until June 4th, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 6, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer a sum of money to operate the sewer department for a 12-month period beginning July 1st, 2020, under the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53F and 1/2, or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to postpone action on this article to June 4th, 2021.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 7, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to accept gifts, bequests, donations of money and real and personal property given to the town or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to accept gifts, bequests, and donations of money and real and personal property given to the town.
Is there a second? Second. Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That was 7, right? Yep. Article 8, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter into any and all necessary lease agreements and other dispositions of personal property or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter into any and all necessary lease agreements and other dispositions of personal property.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All in favor signify by raising your hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Excuse me just a second. I need to take a drink. It's vodka. Article 9, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to apply for and expend funds that may be available from the state or federal grants or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to apply for and expend funds that may be available from state and federal grants.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 10, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Water Commissioners to apply for and expend funds that may be available from state and federal grants or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to authorize the Board of Water Commissioners to apply for and expend funds that may be available from state and federal grants.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Article 11, to see if the town will vote to give the town treasurer the authority to invest town funds, general cash, water enterprise funds, and sewer enterprise funds in short-term investments as the treasurer deems prudent for income purposes or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to give the town treasurer the authority to invest town funds, general cash, water enterprise funds, and sewer enterprise funds in short-term investments as the treasurer deems prudent for income purposes.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 12, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to sell and transfer titles in the name of the town of North Brookfield to any properties or land obtained through the legally acquired tax title foreclosures or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to sell and transfer titles in the name of the town of North Brookfield to any properties or lands obtained through legally acquired tax title foreclosures.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 13, to see if the town will vote pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53E, 1/2, to establish the following fiscal year 21 spending limits for revolving funds listed in Chapter 11, Section 17 of the North Brookfield bylaws as follows. Council on Aging, $15,000. Council on Aging Senior Wheels, $7,000. Fire Training Center, $7,500. Planning Board Engineering Services, $8,000. Cemetery Department, $15,000. Board of Health Public Health Services, $5,000. Board of Health Vacant Properties, $25,000. Building permits, $10,000. Electrical permits, $10,000. Plumbing and gas permits, $10,000. Safety inspections, $5,000, or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53E, 1/2, to establish the following fiscal year 22 spending limits for revolving funds listed in Chapter 11, Section 17 of the North Brookfield bylaws as follows. Council on Aging, $15,000. Council on Aging Senior Wheels, $7,000. Fire Training Center, $7,500. Planning Board Engineering Services, $8,000. Cemetery Department, $15,000. Board of Health Public Health Services, $5,000. Board of Health Vacant Properties, $25,000. Building permits, $10,000. Electrical permits, $10,000. Plumbing and gas permits, $10,000. Safety inspections, $5,000.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 14, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer from available funds the sum of money to the North Brookfield Emergency Squad for payment of contracted services or take any action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to postpone action on this article to June 4th, 2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there anything to be said? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hands. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Article 15, to see if the town will vote to accept the sum of money as the town's apportionment of fiscal year 2022, Chapter 90 funds or taking action relative thereto. Is there a motion?
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to accept the sum of $309,945 as the town's apportionment of fiscal year 2022, Chapter 90 funds.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anything to be said? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That was 15, right? Okay. Article 16, to see if the town will vote to approve and appropriate $22,500 to correct problems with stormwater from the town streets and adjacent properties that cause flooding at the residence of 94 Summer Street, North Brookfield, Mass., and the land and streets downstream on Prospect, Summer Street, and Summer Street, to be used by the Town Highway Department to contract to correct stormwater problems or act on anything related thereunto. Is there a motion? Is there a motion on this article?
I'd like to make a presentation, Mr. Moderator.
Do you have a motion to make first?
We accept it.
No, you'll need to make a motion that you,
I'd like to make a motion to accept it. Second.
okay. Is this in writing? Do you have the motion in writing? All motions have to come to the moderator in writing.
So would you like me to write it?
Yes, I'd like your motion in writing, and we can move on from there.
How would you like that written?
If you want to use the article itself,
I don't have a copy with me. There weren't any copies available? Oh,
can you have him sign it? And circle with the motion, and basically put an I move on there.
Is there a motion there to do something?
Well, his motion is going to parallel the article. The article is written there, so
so what do we need to do?
you would need to move that you want to do what's listed in the article and sign and date it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Somebody, I thought I had mentioned it to you before it needed to be in writing.
Okay. Today's date is...
The 7th.
It's not a stabilization.
Thank you.
So the motion has been presented. It essentially reads the same as the article. Is there a second? Okay, Bob LaFlamme seconded. You say you have a presentation?
Yes, I do, if I could.
Sure, go ahead.
Ashley, do we have
Yeah.
access to the projector?
You could introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are.
Sure. My name? Let's do it this way.
With the projector?
Yes. My name is Bruce Arnold. Our address, and this is my wife Deb Arnold. We're residents of the town. We live over at 94 Summer Street. I've got a really brief presentation on what we have for problems. If everybody would be patient, we'll get that up. Yeah, that's okay. This one's not working.
Why don't you give a little brief synopsis in the meantime and keep things moving while she's doing her technical stuff.
Okay. Essentially, we've been really fortunate. We've worked with the town on a problem that we've had for years. At our property, And essentially, it's a water issue. We've worked with the selectmen, we've worked with Highway Department, trying to get some resolution to the problem. But what happens is our basement floods anytime we get an inch and a half of water. And essentially, in the presentation, I'll be showing you what it looks like, and then the chronological sequence of events that we've had to get it corrected. Last meeting with the Board of Selectmen, which was in October, I was told that I needed to bring this to the town to have the funding approved to get it fixed. And essentially, that's where we are, and the presentation will tell you the rest of it. In the interest of moving along, I mean, is it okay to wait a second or two till the technology is ready for us?
Yeah, I guess we can, say 10 minutes?
Oh, yeah, well, I think somebody's getting another laptop, I guess.
Okay.
Had I known,
guess,
I would have
mean,
been able to.
We want to hear what's going on, and I think everybody needs the right information to make a fair and adequate vote, so we'll go 10 minutes here and see what happens, and go from there. How's that?
That'd be
Anybody
great,
needs a
thank
bathroom?
you.
Now's the time.
You know, do we have the technician for the school equipment here, close?
Here she comes.
Oh, okay. Here you go. I'll bring this over. Sure. Oh, good. This is it? Yeah, I can, and I know what to do here. Just go into from slide. Thank you. Thank you. You do a great job. What's your name?
Sam Priestley.
Sarah, thank you. Okay, so that's good.
Oh, you know why? Because the first slide is black, that's why.
First slide is black, that's correct. Everybody can see that, right? It's tough for me to see it because I can't turn around and do it. But anyway, Deb and I have lived in town since 1982. We've raised 4 great children here. It's been a great experience. We've been very active as volunteers in all levels of town and youth sports, town youth committees. Deb was volunteered in the school programs, and she served 3 terms in the school committee. So the problem is this, and I don't know if you've got a good view there or not, but this is our side yard on the corner of Prospect and Summer Street. You can see a fairly extensive flood going on. This is normally what happens with an inch and a half of water. In this picture, you can't really pick it out, but there are 2 hoses out there that are channeling the water out into the street. So anyway, oh, sorry. So anyway, we get the water. The basement needs to be pumped because the water actually does come up very high. Ask anybody on, or a lot of guys on the fire department, they come and they visit frequently when the power goes down because literally you got to wear waders down in the basement to pump it out. So the problems existed since 1982. And the flooding is because there's an underground culvert that is clogged, all right? The culvert runs down and back of our property, and this, it's old, outdated infrastructure from the town that can no longer handle heavy rains or snow or anything like that. Over the years, the problems continue to get worse. We've installed 3 sump pumps to handle it, and that's the best we can do. We first asked the town for assistance with this problem in 1989 when geysers shot out of our ground in back of our house 4 feet high. That's no lie. Ray Blake, I don't know if everybody remembers him, came up and he helped us with the problem. Ray was the highway superintendent. He resolved the problem by doing some quick excavation because he saw what was going wrong. And essentially, it was the following day, uncovered the culvert and cleaned it out, right out to the street. Now, it's important to understand that this infrastructure, this underground culvert, is connected to town stormwater. All right, and my contention is because it's connected, therefore it's part of the town infrastructure. So essentially, Ray resolved that problem by cleaning out the stone culvert. He also dead-ended a pipe up on Maple Street up above us, and I'll show you a map in a second about that. And that dead end stopped water from coming down for a while. You know, so we were lucky, and this is just kind of an example of what happens if you're familiar with the corner of Prospect in summer. This is what it looks like. And in the wintertime, this creates a hazardous situation. You have water going out onto Prospect Street. It freezes, it creates a glacier, and, you know, Prospect Street comes down to Summer Street. Cars can't stop. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay, so Blake and neighbors have told us about this Graywater Brook, which originates somewhere between High Street, passes west to east across our backyard and across the other abutters on our street. So essentially it goes by Summer Street out to Prospect Street. And we're bounded by Prospect, Maple, High Street, and Summer. This culvert is a trench, very deep in the ground. It's covered with fieldstone. It has sides of fieldstone. It has a bottom of fieldstone as well. So this is kind of an overview map, Google Earth, and it shows you the layout of the property. You can see where our house is, and down in the corner here is where the existing town utility is for the storm drain. This is where the water is supposed to go. It doesn't, because it's clogged up. Hello. Okay, so to give you an idea of approximate location of this gray brook, it starts over by High Street. It runs across the back of the property. The dotted line is really an approximation of where it goes. The solid yellow line that you see now is where we know it goes. We've dug this up to look at it, or it has been inspected. When we first started dealing with this back in 2019, or we renewed trying to get it resolved in 2019, it wasn't something that people believed. Town did not believe there was a brook under the property, 8 feet deep, 12 feet deep. Now what happens is, and this is actually where it is, this yellow line. What happens is also, town infrastructure is failing, and we know we have the West Side Infrastructure Project study going on. The infrastructure's failing, and the berms up on Maple Street are down. Water clogs in the storm basin, or storm drains on Maple Street. There very well may be storm drains connected to this gray water brook. Water jumps, so water on Maple Street stalls at the storm drains because the storm drains are often clogged. Leaves, dirt, whatever, normal stuff. But the water goes above the berm and it runs over the surface of the ground between Maple Street and Summer Street, and it comes down into this gray water brook. Now that circle that you see down in the lower part there, that circle actually forms a pond. Okay, that pond is upstream from our basement, and essentially there is a sinkhole there. This is on the Ottman's property. And essentially water just kind of chugs down this thing, and as it does that, it fills up our basement. So in 1989, the town did help by cleaning out the culvert when roots and silt had clogged the water flow. More recently, the stone culvert has failed. We've asked the highway department and the selectmen to help remedy the issue. The selectmen have been sympathetic, but they encouraged us to come to town meeting because there is no easement on our property. Word came back from town council that because there's no easement for this on any of the maps or any of the deeds, the town is not responsible. So selectmen advised me, Bruce, the best thing you can do is bring it to the town, have them vote to approve money for this. So again, here's what our side yard looks like when the 3-inch and the 2-inch hoses are going. So how will this benefit the town? What's in it for the town? You're going to have less ice buildup on Prospect in summer. You're going to have less erosion of the town roadway at the intersection of Prospect and Summer. Roadways won't flood in the spring, summer, and fall, and the erosion on the Prospect and Summer Street areas will not happen if the water is directed to the right place. How's this going to benefit the property owner? How does it help Debbie and I? By installing this new pipe, water will be directed directly to the storm drain that it's connected to now, that's clogged with roots and silt, and it won't flood the basement. It'll take a lot of headache away from me. The home foundation will not get damaged as it's getting now. We won't have mold buildup in our basement. Yard erosion on the Prospect Street side of the property will not continue, and will be spared more equipment loss. That is, we've lost stuff in this. Total in is about 10 grand for us right now. That's another view looking back towards the house. You can see the water coming downhill. So anyway, due to heavy rain and flooding, 2004, our oil furnace took a hit, completely destroyed that. The hot water heater was lost, and the cost was over $8 grand. Just back in October, while we've been trying to get this resolved, we lost another $1,500 because of water damage to our furnace. So just to illustrate this, okay, and if everybody bears with me just a second, I'm almost done. After 1.5 inches of rain, okay, in October in 2020, 3 sump pumps that are installed in the basement pumped out, and I did the math based on the actual numbers, the physics involved with pumping water from these pumps. 66,000 gallons of water was pumped out of our basement in 3.5 hours. That's 3 above ground pools. Okay, so that kind of gives you the frame here around this picture. So in November, people didn't believe, there's a brook underneath your property. Well, so anyway, we had to spend $1,000 to prove it, so we did. A contractor was nearby. We hired that contractor to come up and dig up the back of the yard and back of the house. This is directly in back of the house. That excavator is sitting towards the Prospect Street. So this is a easterly view, and they dug down 12 feet. You can see the gentleman down in the pit. Again, this is an easterly view, and you can see the culvert, the circled things. right? So that's the easterly view. The right-hand picture is that same gentleman digging in the culvert, cleaning silt out of it on the westerly side. So anyway, repair and upkeep of the culvert is the responsibility of the town, since it carries stormwater through our property from the town, as well as water from other abutters, okay, that are getting also the same kind of flooding or similar flooding. This culvert's not for our benefit. We didn't put it there. It was there. We do not put anything into this culvert. The only water that gets in there from our property seeps down through the ground because it's run down the hill. Our property won't maintain its value if the town continues to allow stormwater to flood the basement. Property owners are not authorized to make changes to the stormwater system for the town. I can't do anything about it. This is not my responsibility, and legally I can't touch anything. Further delay in addressing the problem will be considered negligence on the part of the town to maintain a safe and healthy infrastructure for our neighborhood. That's for the neighborhood. We've done everything we've been asked to by the selectmen, including writing this warrant, getting the voters' signatures, and providing 3 competitive quotes. So anyway, that's the article. You can read it on the paper. I don't need to read this, do I? I'd like to thank my friends at the fire department. These guys come out when the power's down and the shit just hit the fan. Water's filling up, I got my waders on. Those guys are right out back with me, and they're down there with the sump pumps running the gas ones. So thank you for North Brookfield Fire Department. Thank you for your patience with this. I appreciate it, and I'm happy to answer anybody's questions.
Are there any questions for Mr. Arnold? Nothing at all? If you'd step up, be identified.
My name's Jack North. I live at 142 Old Kim Road now, but I owned Frank Cook's property when I first moved to town in '98. And I was told there was an underground brook there. We got 3 feet of water in my basement. I pumped it out. I never thought it was the town's fault. I think if that culvert is being used for town stormwater management, you can prove that. Certainly the town should do something about it. I also just did some repair work on 68 Summer Street, and when I was there, he gets water in his basement also if his pump breaks down. I had, in my house, when I lived there, 3 feet of water in there. From what I understand, the house to the right of that, 64, has the same problem. So where does it end, you know? I'm just saying, but I hear what you're saying. If they got a culvert, if the town stormwater management is dumping it into your yard, I can see. But, you know, I just never thought that that would ever happen. And when was it put in?
Are you asking me?
Well, was it put, like, if I owned the property and there wasn't a lot of houses there and I had water back in 1860, I might dig a trench to get the water on the street. And now, you know, is it the town? Did the town do that? Like, what's going on? That's all I'm asking.
I don't think anybody really knows when the culvert was put in.
Well, did the town put it in?
That's, again, it's unknown. Well before our history, I'm sure.
And I can understand what you're saying. I'm on your side to get it fixed, except for, you know, I lived there, and the house next to me had it, and the house to the right of me had it, and probably the rest of them down the street had it.
Right.
Well, is the town gonna fix all of that because there's a drainage problem? What's going on?
Well, God love you, you had the same problems, and you were up at 3 o'clock in the morning pumping out your basement.
Yeah, well, 2 sump pumps actually fixed it, but it wasn't that bad. But, I mean, is it a runoff problem, or is it the culvert that the town put in? I don't know.
Well, my contention, and you know, and this is, it's my belief, is that this is tied into, the pipes are tied into, or this brook is tied into, town utility storm drain. You can go up there right now and see water coming down. We've had tons of water in the last couple of days, but even on dry days, the pipe coming from my property, all right, is drizzling water out at probably 5-6 gallons a minute, all right? So anyway, my contention is this is a town town infrastructure problem. Okay, I believe the town needs to fix it.
Okay.
The whole west side of town has problems with drainage. That is, from the top of Mount Pleasant, where the rectory is, there's a swimming hole up there when it rains, right? Right next to the rectory, that pond floods out and it comes down to where you used to live. And there's 3 water courses on that hill. But essentially, the way it works is water coming off of Maple Street winds up in this brook. It's Maple Street water that comes to this brook. All right?
Okay.
It's not my water. It's water from Maple Street. So it gets there in 2 ways. There could be, and I can't say this for sure, we did find it before that one of the storm drains was tied into the brook. All right? There is, when we did this excavation, there is a clay pipe that comes down between Gifford's barn and Gifford's house into this drain. That clay pipe was responsible for filling up what you could see in those pictures in the ditch. So it's possible that storm drains are still connected to this. There's no way to really tell. However, I've created an album of photographs that shows water jumping the berm, coming down on either side of Toomey's property, coming down the back of Ottman's property, forming that pool next to my garage on Ottman's property, and then going down the hole. Now,
I'm on your side, okay?
I
I
understand.
live there, but this
Yeah,
this is my concern. I built a house on Oakham Road.
Right,
I put a perimeter drain in. It's made out of PVC. It wasn't made out of stones like they might have used in the 1800s, right?
right.
If that plugs up, that's my responsibility, right? So if you got a culvert that's a stormwater drain that's going into your yard and stopping, then I think the town should help you out. But if whoever built that house put a perimeter drain in and it's now not working, I don't know what's going on there. That's all I'm saying.
We don't know. The house was originally built in 1876.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
Gentlemen, you've made your
because we'll be
points.
fixing every perimeter drain in every house up and down the street.
Stand by.
That's all I'm
Let's-
saying,
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
Dale, did you want to say something?
Yes, I just want to correct a few things. Mr. Arnold did come in front of the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Selectmen denied liability by the town. And the town is not liable. It's a brook. There's no infrastructure there. It's on the back of his property. It's not the town's issue. The highway superintendent did an investigation, and he said there wasn't the infrastructure there. We put it through town council. Town council says the town's not liable. The town's not liable. We have at least a half a dozen properties that the Board of Selectmen are aware of that have a similar problem. And I know at least one of them on Stoddard Place is actually caused by the town infrastructure. We don't have the money. The other issue is they didn't identify where the money is going to come from. We don't have it in the general, so it's going to have to come from a stabilization account of some sort. The problem's been ongoing for 40 years. And there's a recent land court decision out of the town of Sturbridge that says if it's going on past 20 years, town's not liable. So it's called a prescriptive easement. So town's not liable on 2 different fronts here. So we just don't want to get into a precedent setting where people can come individually to the town meeting and get money appropriated. It should be done through a grant. That's the whole purpose of the infrastructure studies that we're doing, is so we can get grant money to fix everybody's problem at the same time, not piecemeal. So that's the board's position, and we did advise Mr. Arnold to come to the town because it's the town's money. It's your vote to appropriate it the way you want. We just wanted you to know where the administrative side of the town came down on it.
Mr. Moderator, could I comment to that? Those comments? May I? Because there are some things that need to be corrected.
I don't want to get in a tit for tat here.
We're not gonna, I'm not arguing.
Okay, but I just, we're going back and forth here.
I do
we
want
know-
to talk about something very technical, and this is the prescriptive easement legal thing that's going on. I want to correct issues surrounding
Okay.
that.
Go ahead.
Okay, so, prescriptive easement, my attorney, on the case of Gentile versus Sturbridge, which is where this prescriptive easement magic stuff is coming from, my attorney reviewed this, has nothing to do with what I got for a problem. That guy that lost to the town of Sturbridge lost because he was seeking damages and money for the property that the town of Sturbridge took from him for the prescriptive easement. Town hasn't taken anything from me. They just keep dumping water in my cellar. So his thing, the guy in Sturbridge, he went to the town, went to the Supreme Court and lost because of this prescriptive easement thing where the town of Sturbridge had the right to discharge water across his property. All right? Not the same case. The storm drains for the town are clogged on my property, are backing up, and I get Maple Street water. So anyway, I've got the information on that here if you'd like to read it. So, based on my attorney's understanding, my situation is not the same as the person in Sturbridge. There is no prescriptive easement. Now, it's interesting we're here because of easements. Remember that? Because there's no easement on my property, I'm here. I'm bugging you guys. I'm trying to get money from the town to fix this problem. So the reason I'm here is because there's no easement. Is there an easement or not? That's the question. If there's an easement, even if it's prescriptive back in 1700s or 1800s, then I think the town needs to fix it.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
Let's, Madam Moderator, please go ahead, and then we'll go next to you.
Since the town has no money, where's the money coming from? Dale, does he have to tell us where the money's coming from?
He does.
Mr. Moderator, can I address that?
Please.
Okay, back when I was doing my homework prescribed by the selectmen, back in October, I have 3 emails that went back and forth. How can I better this warrant? How can I make this warrant work? I need to know where I need to get the money. Nobody wanted to comment from the town, selectmen and the finance committee. No comments. It got lost somewhere.
You never came to the finance committee one time.
I sent emails. I was in
Okay.
town hall.
Let's not get in a shout match here.
So anyway,
Okay.
I don't want to, I don't want to argue about it. What I need to know is, okay, how do we fix it?
Okay.
Where can we get the money?
Mi-
Do I need to work on grant?
Okay, Mr. Arnold, let's let, is the town in interest of hearing the highway superintendent weigh in on this? Okay.
Jason Benoit, Highway Super. I think we're going too far along here. Mr. Arnold is expressing a lot of opinion in his own admission. The fact is, myself and another camera outfit had looked at the property, but prior to that, and Mr. Arnold showed the pictures of the excavation that took place that showed the pipe that's underground. I've repeatedly asked Mr. Arnold where his water source was prior to town water with no answer. The properties associated with that area have hand-dug wells that still exist to this day. Initially, upon the excavation and the location of the stone culvert that he's referring to, I truly believed it was the town's responsibility at that time. In fact, I extended an offer to help out Mr. Arnold by supplying materials, pipe, catch basin, et cetera, and he was to engage with a contractor. I was standing right there when this occurred. Nothing happened. A year plus goes by, and I do my investigation through one of my employees and through a camera outfit. The consensus I came up with after that, through my investigation, is it is not our problem. It is an overflow to a hand-dug well that other neighbors share as well. So I think for us to put forward a dollar figure on this, and by the way, there was a dollar figure put on it initially when I believed it was the town's issue, and that was $7,000 of donation from the town, which we've already engaged with, and the proof is in the pudding, because initially, like I said, I agreed it being a town problem, and the culvert was contaminated by a root system. If you look at the corner, the town spent $3,000 taking the trees down. We never should have spent that money, in my opinion, because I don't believe it's our problem.
Okay. Is there anything else to be said?
Christina Holmes from 11 Union Street. I just have a question. So you said that the town had in the past fixed it in the 80s. So what changed between the town thinking that it was their responsibility then and now? And is there any record of that?
May I address that?
Mr. Arnold has openly admitted that he purchased the problem 39 years ago in a selectmen's meeting. It's public record.
Okay.
This,
I
Mr.
don't want to get in
Moderator,
a shouting match here.
Mr. Moderator,
Yes,
may I address several things?
I-
I know it's going
We're beating
beyond.
a dead horse here. We're getting into the weeds here, and I don't want to get off in the weeds. Is there anything else to be said? Is there a second? Somebody called the question. Is there a second on that? Okay, it's been called the question. It's been seconded. All those,
Excuse me,
we got to vote on the question first.
Mr. Moderator,
Yes,
could we ask for a paper vote?
it is a ballot vote.
Thank you.
Yes. All those in favor of moving the question, please raise your hand.
What was the question?
All those opposed? Okay, that passes. Now, we're going to move on to a ballot vote, if everybody's ready. Again, same drill. If you come around this way, if the tellers would please come up and get your ballots.
Where's the money coming from? We have to establish that?
Okay, it's been told to me by town council that it's not up to anyone making a motion to determine where the money's coming from. Now, Mr. Kyler would disagree with me on that, but we've had different times when himself has said, we don't have to say where the money's coming from. So, the issue is to whether or not the town, the issue is whether or not the town is responsible for this or not, okay? It's not up to this meeting to determine where the money's coming from. That's what the business officers of the selectmen are. So,
That can't be, because if it's coming from stabilization, we need a 2/3 vote.
then you'll need to bring it back to town meeting. So, okay, did you give everything out? What are we doing?
I have to put the trash back.
Oh, okay, stand by.
Trash can be the same, right?
Yeah, trash is fine. Yes, sir. Yes. To confirm, a yes vote is agreement with the motion that the town is liable for this, and a no vote is no, the town is not liable for this, as I see it.
Mr. Moderator, you should not get involved in those kind of things as moderator. I'm not involved with it. You're saying what you're saying. I'm not saying about what? When you said, when you made the comment, that is not what the moderator to do. What town council said, it is not.
Well, it is, because town council brought that up at the previous thing. Yes, it is. If it's a finding,
Just one comment. Come up with the line, you'll be flooded. I'm authorized one of the now. Jim, how's Ann doing? Jim, Jim. How's Ann doing?
huh?
How's Ann?
Oh, she's doing real good.
I saw her outside for a couple of days.
Yeah, her and Helen sit outside.
Yeah.
And, she's doing good. Helen and her finally, she's got a good match. And Helen, Helen gives her what for, and they're becoming fast friends. And she's doing okay. She's lost it, but
Get 'em outside
she's in
and
good care
keep 'em-
though.
Keep them going. That's all you can do.
She's in good hands, and she got somebody paying for all that for her, and
Yeah.
stuff. So, and that baseboard job took care of the. We never put that outlet back in, though, and there's no outlet in that side of the room now.
I can't get there.
Well, it had an outlet in the baseboard.
But it moved that power.
Yeah.
But now that's in the heat.
Oh, it was in the heat before.
You can't do that. You can't put a plug over heat.
It was pre-wired, wasn't it?
But it was on the side of the heat.
Oh, okay, all right.
You can't, it's illegal to put it over the heat.
Yeah.
Then you plug in and your cord goes in the heat.
It melts it. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Oh well.
You're in the catch-22 right there.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Oh, yeah, you guys have to vote. Jim, where did Jim go? I was gonna say,
Yeah. Give me a bell.
Thank you. No hay in it either. What? It's gonna be 2/3, right? Oh, so I have to get the calculator and the notepad again. I packed everything up.
We're going to make it 2/3 on the assumption it's coming from stabilization. We're going to make it 2/3 on the assumption it's coming from stabilization.
Oh, there's no place else. Eric.
Okay. The total yes was 62, the total no was 59. But it is not 2/3, which is, you have to have for money from an unknown source. So the motion doesn't pass. So it requires a 2/3 vote. 2/3 of, stand by. Yep. Hang on.
You've got the phone right here.
Oh, go ahead. 62, 59, give me a 2/3.
62.
62 and 59 total. Oh,
121.
wait a minute. Yeah, total votes cast. Divide that by 3 times 2.
2 equals 80 points.
Right. Okay. This required a 2/3 vote. A 2/3 vote would have been 82 votes. 81. Well, there's no points. It wouldn't be a point. Okay, whatever. Anyways, the votes as it tallied were 62 yes, 59 no, which is not 2/3. So the ballot doesn't carry. So this is defeated. Does everybody understand now? I see a lot of blank faces. Yes, no? Okay. Okay. That was the last article. Is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? Seconded. All in favor, signify by raising your hands. Okay, thank you.